Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Bena, and a couple of days ago, I was given the honor of giving keynote opening remarks to the Boston University Academy Model UN Conference. And we were going to record the remarks, but many of the attendees were legally considered minors, and we did not have parental consent. So this is an encore and abridged version of those comments. I titled the talk 900 seconds, and it's because that's how many seconds are in 15 minutes, and that's how long I was given to talk. And it was really the opening of their conference. And for those of you who are not familiar with Model UN, you really should Google it because it is a remarkable program to help young leaders, the next generation of young leaders, understand in a very real and applied way the power of the United Nations on so many levels. So 900 seconds, how long I have for my remarks. And I thought to myself, what can I discuss in 900 seconds? I mean, that's not a heck of a lot of time. So I looked at what the agenda was going to be for the next 2 days of the conference. And you can see the General Assembly committees are planning to address things from state-sanctioned torture of political prisoners to Zika virus, to regulation of drones and biological weapons. Certainly nothing that can be sufficiently discussed, even at a high level, in 900 seconds. And then I looked at the crisis committee topics, and those weren't any easier. The Cuban Missile Crisis, the Lincoln assassination, and Reconstruction. So I thought, that's probably not where I should be looking for the topic of my conversation. Then I turned to something that I am a strong advocate for, and that is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. And there again, for those of you who are not familiar, you should Google SDGs, because these are a series of 17 goals that 193 countries agreed to in 2015. And they will be with us as a society, as a shared community for the next 10 years. So they expire in 2030. And I always challenge anyone who investigates the goals to find something that doesn't resonate with them. There is literally something here for everyone. And because of that breadth, I thought, well, I don't think I can talk about the SDGs either, because I can't even do them justice at a very, very cursory level in 900 seconds. And then I thought, what can I talk about? So I took a step back and I had this epiphany, and I remembered a television show that I had seen about a year ago. It was on Netflix, and it's called Lost in Space. And this is the modern version of Lost in Space from 2018. And if you haven't seen it, it's a really cool series. But I thought of its predecessor, the original Lost in Space, back from the 1960s when I was a kid. And I remembered one subject, or one episode in particular. It was called The Antimatter Man. And in that episode, things were upside down. Black was white, left was right, up was down. And it was even really kind of an amazing message, even as a kid, because it's the first time that I had ever really run across anything that was so upside down and so different from what it was that I had known. And then I realized that's not too different from another show, Stranger Things, where they explicitly call the upside down, sort of a parallel world, a parallel universe. And I thought to myself, that's really what these delegates, these young middle and high school delegates, are living through. It's an upside down world. With COVID and all of the challenges that COVID has sparked, it's a world so different than any one that certainly I knew or any of my peers knew. Never thought they would have to attend school remotely. Never thought they'd be having to wear masks, sometimes double masks, or to worry about where they go and with whom they spend time. So I thought to myself, 900 seconds, what can I give them? What sort of a tool can I give them that they would be able to use throughout their lives, even in an upside down world? And I thought of a ladder, not just any ladder, a very special ladder. And if you look carefully, this ladder is constructed of 4 H's. And those 4 H's are what I call sort of my model for life. And it's the head, which is your intellect, heart, which is compassion, hands, which is all about really doing the work, and humanity, which is a social conscience. Those 4 H's, I maintain, will do you well no matter what you choose to go into. If you're a future leader at the UN, if you're a future faith-based healer, leader, if you're a teacher, if you're a business person, no matter where you end up, this will help. So let's dig a little bit more deeply, right? Intellect. When I thought of who the exemplar of intellect was for me, it's Albert Einstein. And I found this really interesting quote from Dr. Einstein. He talked not so much about knowledge, but about imagination, and about imagination being more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all we know and understand currently, while imagination removes any of those boundaries. It embraces the entire world, and all there ever will be to know and understand can be found in people's imagination. And that's a really important message, I thought. Balance intellect and knowledge with imagination. And then when I thought of someone for heart, right, compassion, the model for me, the example for compassion, was Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And I found a very elegantly simple quote from her. The fruit of love is service, which is compassion in action. And these young leaders, these middle and high schoolers that were part of Boston University Academy Model UN, are already embarking on what I hope will be a lifelong journey of service, whether it's public service or service in other ways, because through service, we do reach and show and demonstrate compassion. And then the third H, hands. This is one that, a lot of people sometimes shy away from. It's sort of the down and dirty. It's when you actually do the work, not being afraid to move away from your desk and actually get your hands dirty and get things done. Stop the planning, stop the theorizing, and actually do the work. And when I thought of someone for that, I thought of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And his quote is, if a man is called a street sweeper, he should sweep the streets even as Michelangelo painted, or as Beethoven composed, or as Shakespeare wrote poetry. And the key message there, guys, is no matter what you do, it could be a checker in a local grocery store, or it could be the next Secretary General of the UN. You should do it with a passion and do it to become the best at whatever it is you're doing. And it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you enjoy what you're doing and you make the most out of whatever work you're charged with. And then lastly, humanity. This is social conscience. And to me, I thought of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And his quote was that the planet doesn't need more successful people. And in this case, he was defining successful in the traditional way of having money or large houses or multiple cars. He said the planet desperately needs more peacemakers, more healers, more restorers, more storytellers. And to me, for someone that was participating in the Model UN, that's what the Model UN, that's what the UN itself is all about, right? The peacemakers, the restorers, the storytellers to get broader humanity involved in solutions to really, really big challenges that we all face. So I offered the BUAMUN 4H challenge. And I thought, let me get started. So I tweeted that I was looking forward to that. And the challenge quite simply was, over the course of the 2 days of the conference, and now that this is after the conference, you can certainly extend it to any time that you'd like. Think about how you have intentionally applied one or more of those 4 H's: head, heart, hands, or humanity, and tweet about it. Or if you don't want to tweet about it, just think about it and let people know, and act as an example for others to follow. Thank you so much. I hope the 4 H's are helpful, and I can guarantee you, if you master them, if you apply them in everything that you do, the world will be a much better place, even if the upside down world continues for a while. Thank you so much.